In the beginning, there was goat versus fish. The GoatVsFish. And goat versus fish said that there should be goat and that there should be fish. There is no alpha or omega. There is no black or white. There is no good or evil. There is only goat and fish. And goat versus fish. Goat versus fish is at a place where the land meets the sea. It is a place of many great verses of goat and fish. There are many places where the land meets the sea, and yet this is a place in which many lands meet many seas. It is a high land, and yet it is surrounded by the sea of the fish. Here is one such place, but looking off into the verses, goat versus fish can see another such place, another such land, surrounded by sea again. Surrounded by many verses of the sea of the fish, the mighty goat does versus the fish. From a many-island place. What do they call this place? What do they call this place?
Aloha, GoatVsFish. They call this place Maui Waui in the state of Hawaii.
Maui Waui versus.
Welcome, GoatVsFish, to Maui Waui.
Thank you for welcoming GoatVsFish. You have been very welcoming to GoatVsFish.
Gratitude for your patience.
Tell us of this place. Tell us of this place.
Well, Maui in the state of Hawaii, it's part of the island archipelago. It's about 720 square miles, and you can get around the island in about 6.5 hours. It's a very magical island. It has, like many places, its ups and downs and turnarounds, but there's something pretty cool about this this landmass right here in the middle of the Pacific Ocean on planet Earth. And it's such an honor to have you come here and check this place out and experience the ganja we have to offer. The beautiful Aloha spirit that Maui has to offer. It's something of a unique, rather, culture that offers welcoming and warmth. Although this modern day and age, there are differences on views and opinions about the financial wealth of the people that live here. But other than that, when you take away all the negative energy, this place is a magical place, and it's a population of 150,000 last I checked of the census. And I would highly recommend, no pun intended, for everybody to come and check this place out once in their lifetime.
Yes, you should come here to witness the mighty verses of goat and fish that are here, yes. GoatVsFish has seen goat here. GoatVsFish has seen fish here. Are you goat or fish? Are you goat or fish?
I have chosen to be a fish in this lifetime.
Celebration for fish! Celebration for island fish! Aloha to island fish. Aloha from island fish. We celebrate this island fish. Fish.
Yes, GoatVsFish.
How is it like to be knowing that you are surrounded by so many fellow fish to aid you in your verses of goat?
It's actually pretty awesome.
Tell us about your fellow fish.
Well, My fellow fish are very vibrant in color. They're also very colorful and vibrant. They are territorial at times, but with enough care and aloha, if they are true to their word, they would do nothing but encouragement and support through the thick and thin. And learning to have unconditional love and less judgment in this world. I feel the fish, I'm very blessed to have grown up with the fish that are surrounding and supporting me.
Now the goat. The goat that are here, yes? How is it that the goat come to this place? Or has it always been goat here, always versus the fish?
Actually, it's always been fish here first in the Pacific Archipelago.
Celebration for fish?
And goat were imported, but not by North Koreans.
The goat came to this land to versus the fish. And now it is goat versus fish. It is goat versus fish. The land here is very interesting land to goat versus fish. It seems as old land, and yet it seems as new land as well, yes? It is treacherous land. It can be treacherous land, and yet it is a beautiful land as well. Tell us of this land. Tell us of this land of the goat.
Well, the land of the goat has lots of life in order for it to thrive and give back to what is known as, to the Hawaiian people, the aina. That's what I was taught in school. And the land of the goat is very historic to the culture that once and still does live, the Hawaiian culture. Beautiful culture, very creative individuals, using technology before their time of the modern day that we live. And it's very prosperous.
What is this land that we are looking at just now?
Yes, so the island of Maui is surrounded by the island of Lanai, the island of Kaolave, the island of Molokini, and just vaguely seen past the point of the West Maui Mountains, the island of Molokini. Also, we're very lucky to have here somewhat of a sanctuary, the way the island topography is below the water, in order to have annually humpback whales come out and birth and play in our Pacific oceans.
The whales, yes. There is much contention in the verses of whale, if they are goat or if they are fish. What does this fish say?
This fish found out through research that the largest fish we have recorded as human organisms is the whale shark. It does fall under the technological term and founding of researchers and scientists that the shark whale has similarities to fish rather than actual whales. And so anything bigger than a shark whale is considered a whale.
And is a whale a goat or a fish? You who have observed the whale, you have seen it. You have not merely pondered the whale. You have observed the whale. You can speak from this verses.
I have. I've been blessed to see the humpback whale. And
goat or fish? Goat or fish?
I believe it would love to stay with its surroundings of the fish.
Fish!
Fish.
Whale fish, whale fish.
Yes, whale fish.
Goat versus fish did even observe such a whale fish. It excited the fence sitter. Thinking it would sit on the fence with it, but Whalefish! Whalefish. Now, just last verses was a mighty verses of Goat versus Fish. Goat versus Fish went to a place of the land, but of course the sea as well, yes? It was a very new land. It was the newest of new land, yes? It was a very hard land. Goat and Fish did verses upon it mightily, yes?
Yes, I think the Hawaiian island chain archipelago was invented 30 million years ago, according to researchers. So fairly new.
But what is it? What is it? We seem to be standing just upon it. What is it that you called it? It is,
Formerly, the artist formerly known as Lava.
Ah, the artist formerly known as Lava, yes. Lava is a land that Goat versus Fish does not see in many places. Tell us of this land of the goat and why it is such a land of the goat to versus fish.
That's perhaps because this part of the earth is still somewhat structurally new, with the mantle of the earth still pushing out lava, and this has the softest openings for lava to still protrude and create more new life that will be around here for millions of years, way past after we have continued on to the internet universe of the goat versus fish. 100, please.
Is the sand made of land or is it made of sea?
Great question, goat versus fish. The land is sand is primarily made of rocks being beaten down day after day, year after year, century after century.
Goat versus fish.
Yes, and it just gets smaller and smaller until it gets smaller and smaller.
It is a versus. It is a versus. The land meets the sea. The goat meet the fish. Forever goat versus fish.
Yeah, I'm stoked you came. Goat
Thank you,
versus
yes.
fish and Maui Waui. That's fucking fantastic.
What is your experience with this place, Fish? Do you speak as a fish that is new to this place, or have you had many verses here?
Yes, I was very fortunate to have been born in Silverton, Oregon, and raised in Maui Waui, Hawaii all my life. From preschool to high school and some college. I'm very proud to, or very blessed to have been growing up in island archipelago with all the ups and downs I've had to encounter and experience as a human organism here, being picked on for having white skin, but nowadays it's just an experience that's in my past, and I'm still very, very humbled and blessed to have been growing up in Maui, Hawaii. Aloha, oi, farewell to thee, come back and smoke again.
White human!
Sir.
Goat versus fish.
Goat versus fish.
There is no black or white, there's only goat and fish. And how can you be a human when you are a fish? What has happened to your versus fish?
I stand politically incorrect. This fish is very blessed to have grown up in the waters of Maui Waui, smoking seaweed.
The weed of the sea. Do you prefer the grass of the land or the weed of the sea?
This fish will be a fence sitter on that question.
Ah, enjoying the land and the sea, yes.
Yeah.
Goat versus fish did spread the verses of Goat versus Fish at the Maui Pro Arts Theater Playhouse Place. It was just last verses. They were bewildered by Goat versus Fish. They did laugh at Goat versus Fish. They did choose goat. They did choose fish. There was a fence sitter. The verses began with two fence sitters. It began the verses, but soon there was one calling out saying it was fish. It was one of those Pisces fish that Goat versus Fish had to say that it had to choose for itself if it was fish. The fence sitter said it did not know if it was a goat or a fish. So fortunate it was that Goat versus Fish was there to spread the verses, but did not know if it was goat or fish. Then came the goat. There was not as much celebration for goat. Oh, it does seem to be a place of many fish, of many, many fish. That goat was with a fish. The goat spoke for the fish. The fish accepted the speaking of the goat for the fish because it was the unity of goatfish. It was the unity of goatfish. And after the verses, it was a celebration. It was a celebration. How do you think they received goat versus fish, these Hawaiian goat and fish, these Maui Waui goat and fish?
This fish believes they were a little stunned at first, per the usual, and that's what's great about Goat versus Fish and his celebration of life. And but he brought them full circle. This fish saw people laughing and having a great time and interacting with the people. That's the type of entertainment that Goat versus Fish brings to this earth and brought to the islands of Maui Waui.
You did speak in those verses as well, yes? How do you feel about your verses?
Yes, this fish had a great time. Whatever circumstances, the most important thing is if this fish made somebody laugh, then this fish did its job in this lifetime.
And what do they call this fish? What do they call this fish?
Unfortunately, Callahan Welsh.
Unfortunately, Callahan Welsh fish. We celebrate this fish. Hi fish, hi fish.
That was awesome.
What do you say to the goat?
To the goat, just keep being a goat. Live your life, goat. This fish will support you in any verses.
What do you say to the fish?
I'm blessed to be a fish. Smoking Maui Waui.
Goat versus Fish has received that offering from the fish. What do you say to the fence sitter?
Choose a life and stick with it. Have ambitions.
And what do you say to Goat versus Fish?
It's an honor to have you here in Maui Waui. Thanks for coming. Appreciate it. This fish is very happy.
Always thank Goat versus Fish. Goat versus fish. Goat versus fish. Are you a goat or fish? Fish versus goat. Fish versus goat. Until we versus again. And don't ever sit upon the fence until we versus again. Until we versus again. And it was written, and it was written. You who listen to Goat vs. Fish. Follow Goat vs. Fish on all social media. On the Instagram, on the Twitterver, on the Book of Faces, all at Goat vs. Fish, all at GoatVsFish. You can even see visages of these verses of Maui Waui, many island place, Hawaii, on the Goat vs. Fish Instagram. And when you are out in the land and the sea, look about you. Look about you. Find one who is lost. Find one who does not know the way. Say aloha and ask. Simply ask. Are you goat? Or are you fish? These are the verses of Goat vs. Fish. I am Goat vs. Fish, the goat fish.